Hello and welcome back. This is Key of W again with some more Let's Play Submachine 2, the Lighthouse. So in the last video, I just escaped the sewer with a bunch of items, and now I'm going to use them to get to some places I have not been. But first, we're going to use this lever handle, because if we recall, in this area, there was something missing from here. And to pull it, it did something. It probably affected that ladder that we saw was sideways. And we should just go straight there because nothing else has changed. But before we go to the ladder, we actually do have a key to this room now. The second floor key that we got in the sewer. And we can go this way. We see a device here with some symbols on it. Now, if we recall from earlier, the picture of the lighthouse on the first floor had an arrow pointing to the second floor, which is where we are now, and it showed three symbols. This one was in the third position, but we had a different one here. We had this one here, and we had this one in the middle. So if we set it up like that, nothing happens, but maybe if we press the button, yeah. And that gives us the light bulb. And there's another ornate chair, just like we saw earlier. And we got a bed here. And some weird, look at this thing here. I move my mouse and the arms wave, so let's do this here. We got secrets. Give me the, okay. So, there. So this is less aggravating than it looks actually, because the arms don't move randomly. They move in some sort of predetermined pattern according to where the mouse is. So just move your mouse toward the secret and just keep moving it toward as the secret tries to escape your grasp, and then just click on it. And there you go. Okay, let's go this way. We got a drawer we can't get into, a radio, which works apparently. It's very surprising. Like, if this lighthouse really is abandoned, that the radio works, the electricity works, but the plumbing doesn't. That is marvelous. Nothing important on that radio, though, so let's ignore it. This typewriter we can look at, as well as this letter on the typewriter. So, live my life peacefully not... Oh, this is clearly starting from the middle of a sentence. Well, we do have that note from the first game over here, which ended in the middle of a sentence. So let's see what would happen if I read this letter going into the next one, or the end of the letter. So, funny thing, I can't tell them the truth. It would be like explaining the possibility of space travel to a goldfish, so I'm just trying to live my life peacefully, not disturbing anyone. That makes sense? The job of a lighthouse keeper seemed to be just right for me, and I wanted to spend the rest of my life in that lighthouse. But after 5 months, my isolation came to an end when they decided to bury the building. My worst fear ever was to be buried alive. But what about to be buried alive inside of a building? I didn't want to take any chances, so I'm leaving today. For those who follow me, I am sorry. And M equals 820. Sincerely, Mur. Well, this is the M person. Murphy, Murtaugh, whatever his name is. Apparently, the reason we find these random notes just scattered about is he does know that someone will eventually follow in the footsteps through the basement and the lighthouse. And so he's leaving them in places we'll find them and then read about his stuff. I guess that explains that. As far as what the heck this is about, we're not totally sure. So he went on his trip, lost his arm, had his karma arm, got his cat. He's, living his life in this lighthouse apparently, and they're gonna bury it. And we're not totally sure who they is. But you'd think that if someone's gonna bury a building, that they don't believe anyone lives inside. They're not gonna bury someone inside alive. Like, if it was a condemned building and this Mur character was living in it, but no one knew, like he was just squatting, and then the government of Kent came in and was like, we gotta get rid of this building, and we're gonna do it in this weird way where we bury it. So, like, we just cave in the ground around it. I suppose. Either that, or people do know he's in here and they're trying to kill him. Which, again, this is a very convoluted way to do it. So there must be something else going on that we're unaware of. So apparently he got out before the building was buried, but we didn't, because we've seen that everything... In fact, if we go over here, this is the second floor of the lighthouse, and there's still earth streaming in, like we're completely underground now. I'm not sure how we're getting air, but we are definitely not above ground anymore. So we find this movie memory here. We can't get into the drawer. Well, that ends our experiments on the second floor. Let's keep looking upward. There we go. This ladder's been fixed. So we keep going up. We have a lever here that doesn't work, probably because we're missing a wire here. It's been cut. But if we remember our first game with the spoon, that we can use kitchenware to repair or to act as wiring in the place of actual wires. So if we take this fork, we can just stick the fork right there, and then we just pull the lever and it's fine. That's kind of weird. But before that, we're going to go over here and we're going to look up this way. And we have a 4-digit code. And this letter E here. Now, this is one of those puzzles, again, that requires a bit of thinking outside the box. I don't think it's too obscure of a general knowledge question to see if you remember the equation E equals MC2. And in fact, the name of the cat Einstein should be a bit of a clue. And the fact we have the letter E, we have the letter M, and at the beginning of the game there was the letter C equals 2. And so you'd think, oh, you have the letters E, M, and C. Well, there's that equation. But if you happen to not know that equation, this is where the game ends for you, because there's nowhere in-game that reminds you of this equation. But since we know it, E equals MC2, we're going to solve. We apparently need whatever number E is equal to, because we need a 4-digit number here. So M is equal to 820, and C is equal to 2. Now, we're not going to just multiply those together. We need to get the square of C. So 2 squared is 4. So 820 times 4, that's going to be 3280. I was very lucky with this number. These numbers are randomly generated every game. M and C are both random. C can be either 2 or 3, and M can be any number between like 500 and 999. I don't remember where the upper and lower bounds really are. But whatever the case, you're going to end up with a very large number for this. And I happened to get a nice round number for M and a nice low number for C. So there's that. Anyway, over here, if we go up, there is a secret down there and another device here. I don't really like this puzzle. What's going to happen is if you click a button, 2 of these things are going to rotate. And it doesn't indicate which 2 will rotate, and you need to get all 4 arms to be in the center, and this one just, you gotta feel it out, and if you miss the timing of it, there, I got it, these 2 lights are on, then you gotta go all the way around again. It's just a pain in the butt. There, that apparently counts. Whew. In some practice runs of this, I would overshoot just slightly and then get completely out of proportion there. So here you see some slightly darker panels because these are not the panels of the wall. They're actually alcoves we can get into, like ducts. We can see a little bit of the perspective here. So we can actually crawl in there. It's a bit hard to see. If we do that, we find secrets. And over here, positive, negative. Well, we do have the positive and negative coils, so I guess those go right in there. Further up, we find a giant light bulb, and nothing happens when we pull this. Oh, secret. Probably because it's not fully powered. We got 3 green lights and 2 red lights, so I think we need to finish this up. There's also a note here. So here it is. I did draw a portal in here. However, it's not stable. I'm going to use it even though I can't tell where I'll end up. Feel free to use this door whenever you like. Just remember that the number of places it can take you is beyond wildest imagination. Or I'm just trying to keep you from exiting the lighthouse. Either way, decide for yourself if you're going to use it or not. M. So he does know people are following him, and these notes are left behind for us, really anyone who's going through the lighthouse. Apparently, his ability to make portals, it worked, And I guess this means that the portal he made disappeared, but he left behind this machine to recreate the portal anytime we wish. But we got some wires here. We're missing something there and there. Well, we've got a few things we can use. We have the movie memory, so there was that movie projector on the first floor. We're actually in the basement. And we had another locked door on the first floor. So let's head back down. A few clicks here, so don't mind me. This way, all the way. We remember this door. And we can head in, find our last secret, and pick this fuse up. And if we head down further, we can go to the movie projector here. And we stick both of these in. And if we put this on, it turns on. We look inside, and now there's a movie. Well, it's kind of just a still image here, just kind of somebody's table of some kind. If I hover over this, looks like I can click on that. Okay, so apparently somebody just shoved from the video an ID card through. There's really no explanation in any of the games as to how that's possible, but it's some of the weirdness that the Submachine is capable of, which we will see in later games. Just warning you, if you're playing along at home, that it's possible to soft lock your game here if you are a little bit too quick on the draw, getting the card out, because if you click and then like leave this screen before the card comes out or something, then the card disappears from the movie but doesn't come out of the projector, so you're stuck. Anyway, that's everything we can do, so we're going to head all the way back up to the top of the entire level. Over here we can probably stick this. Over here we stick that. And look at that, all 5 lights. I see me walking out. I see a seashore. Did I travel too far? Or too early? It's confusing how time and space seem to unite. But wait a minute. Isn't that just an image on a computer screen? Yeah, that's kind of a weird gotcha there. I'm going to turn the music off so the menu music doesn't destroy our eardrums here. We can ignore that ending because it has nothing to do with the next game at all. It's just a closing thing from the opening video, which was a reference to Crimson Room. But either way, we've just entered a portal that's going somewhere, and we will see where that is in the next game. So we found all 20 secrets. There's nothing for finding them all, but in every future game which contains secrets, we'll either get some kind of special developer commentary or extra plot things for that. So that's Submachine number 2, the Lighthouse. I hope you all enjoyed that, coming from me, the non-Let's Player, trying this stuff out. I'd say it's definitely a step up from Submachine 1. I do like this game still, number 2. There's some issues with it, like the E equals MC2 puzzle, from a design standpoint, is a bad idea because you don't want to test, you don't want puzzles in a game to require general knowledge of outside sources, because anyone who just doesn't happen to know that will never solve the puzzle. There's things like that. There's a couple other moments of like, you would never know that doing X will lead to Y. That's present from the first game, which as the series goes on, those types of puzzles will start disappearing as Skutnik gets better as a designer, but it still holds up really well. The graphic style is much improved from the first game, even though there's still a few glitches here and there, and of course the plot has started to actually happen. Never mind the grammatical stuff. Again, he's Polish, so his command of English is better than mine as a Polish, so I just note that there are grammatical errors which start to disappear or become less frequent as we go along. But otherwise, great game, definitely a step above the first. So in the next video, I will explore the third game, The Loop. I'll see you then. Bye.